Chapter 2. Old Lady woke up to the best news. An old lady used to live in a small hut on the outskirts of town. It was a peaceful place with few households nearby. Every day she would wake up early in the morning, cleaned her house, and went about her daily routine. She would prepare breakfast, feed cat, go to market for fresh groceries, prepare food for the day, brew tea for evening, and then she would sit all day long weaving the woolen clothes for her grandchildren. There was no one she would talk to but a cat. That cat was her only companion. One day, while talking to Cat, old lady was complaining about her son, not calling her to know about her well-being or tell her how is he doing or his kids. Then came another day. It was same usual day for her. As part of her routine, while remembering her son, she began to complain Cat about her son. But it seemed a different day. That day Cat stood up and began to walk away from old lady, while she was still talking to Cat. Old lady noticed and found it very odd for a cat to behave that way. It was unlikely of Cat. She left the utensils unwashed on counter and went after the cat, asking if what has happened. Of course Cat did not respond as always, and kept walking in her slow, knowing walk. Cat was ahead and old lady behind, retracing the steps. Finally Cat stopped in front of an old tree. It was a very old tree that stood there for decades. Cat simply went ahead and sat beside the box that was present there in front of that old tree. Not paying much attention to Cat's unlikely behavior, old lady continued her talk to Cat, inquiring about this unusual behavior, all while Cat appeared to be unbothered and not in obligation to respond. It caught her attention, and she stopped complaining, and began to observe that mysterious box. While she observed and started to grow curious about it, millions of thoughts raced through her mind. What is it? Looks new. Who left it here? Did someone forget it? Was this stolen? How did it end it here? These curious thoughts continued until Cat hit the box over with paws and moved aside. The box flipped, hitting the ground, and opened up. Something very shiny was hanging partially in box and out of it. Old lady leaned down and saw that it was a necklace with small inscription on it, "Make one wish and it will be granted." The only wish she ever had was to see his son occasionally, if not daily. Without thinking any further, she held that locket in her palm, enclosed it within her hand, and said her wish in an audible voice, all too instantly. After a moment she thought how naive of someone to keep it here, even if it is a joke that happened today. She found solace in the very thought that what if any of this is true, or happens to be true, may this brings her son to come visit her and inquire about her well-being. Still standing there by the flipped-over box, the old lady indulged in her own thoughts. She placed the locket back in that box, with a thought in mind that perhaps the real owner might come looking for it and find it here intact. She gestured the cat to come along on her journey back home. But Cat, being the cat, purred again, and ran away towards the same way from where she came. The old lady began to trace her steps back to home. When she reached home, the cat was already there in her dedicated place, moving tail and resting. She entered her home and began doing chores for the rest of the day, and did not say a word more that day. A week later she received a letter. It was from her son. He was requesting her to let him and his family stay on weekends at her place, as her grandson wants to learn horse riding, and the only reputable place to learn horse riding was near her home. She could not believe what she was reading, almost jumped in excitement. With such flowing excitement, the cat could not help but notice the old lady acting unusually. She winked at Cat and began to write the answer to the letter, letting her son know that he and his family can stay at her place as many weekends as they like. That night she slept in peace, dreaming about the visits of his son and his family at her place. That fateful weekend finally came, when her house lit up with their arrival, grandchildren giggling and her children talking. There was a new kind of vibe and energy, and it was a good one. It was like a dream come true for her. On weekends she would spend time with her daughter-in-law and granddaughter, whilst her son and grandson would go away riding horses on ground. After their horse-riding practice they would come by evening, and then they all will have dinner together. And it continued for endless weekends. Then one fine day, out of curiosity, an old lady thought about that mystery box and went to look for it. It was not there. She kept looking for it and saw that it was placed beneath another tree, and this time another old man was holding the necklace like he was making a wish. She smiled and went back to her house, with smile on her face and contentment in her heart. She now had everything she ever wished for. The end.